Well, Conor, good morning or good evening, depending on what hemisphere we're in.
Yeah,
It's good to see you again.
definitely is. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know how long it's been, but
Glenview School before the county final.
it would have been actually. Yeah,
Principal's
yeah.
office.
Yeah.
How is it just right now with COVID? Like over here, there's the worry that things are going to lock down again. What's the sort of what's the Aussie take?
Oh, there's a bit of so Australia's kind of split up in the states, and they're like each state has different restrictions and what they can and can't do. Um, so I previously came from Adelaide, where our footy hub was, and then once we finished the season, I flew to Sydney, which has the similar restrictions to Adelaide, where we can go to pubs and cafes. Um, but then it's just managed like you have to sit down at bars and cafes. You're limited to the amount of people you can see and whatnot. And then I arrived back to Melbourne there 2 days ago, and it's pretty much still in lockdown. Um, so we can really only leave the house for essentials, whether it be going shopping or going for exercise and whatnot. Um, so it kind of went from being locked down to being let free for a week, and then back into lockdown. So I enjoyed that week of freedom.
And when you say your hub was moved, that was your whole Hawthorn thing. We're just based out of Adelaide. Was that the way it was at that stage?
It was. So originally we actually thought we were going for 30 days, and that was when it started June. Um, we went to Coogee in Sydney for 30 days, and then coming to the end of that stay, they extended it for another, I think it was a month. So we flew to Perth for a month. And they were like, right, that's us back to Melbourne. But then Melbourne started to get worse with COVID cases. And then we ended up staying for, I think it was 82 days all up. So originally it was meant to be 30 and ended up being 82. So yeah, it was a tough year. And I guess the boys only packed for 32 days or 30 days, sorry, and ended up being 82. So it was a lot of shit talk and new clothes being bought.
Aye, a few new sets of undies needing, but and then
No, I kept myself busy with. I brought my Xbox as well, so I kept myself busy at nights and whatnot. So it wasn't too bad.
you're sort of a bit of a Fortnite champion there. You just had a sort of an Xbox Fortnite competition at one stage.
I wouldn't say I'm definitely not a champion, but I enjoy my gaming and whatnot. And a few of us boys play together, so it's a bit of fun. And especially in lockdown, it kind of keeps yourselves busy, and uh, yeah, you have obviously more time in your hands. So I've gone off the Fortnite grind and back on the Call of Duty grind. So I'm a lot better at Call of Duty than I'm Fortnite.
And then I suppose on obviously the news has come out recently that you're on your way back to Ireland. Last time I'd sort of been in communication with you, it was sort of 50-50 where you would get a contract, and it was very much a waiting game. And you had said something about the end of September, start of October was sort of crunch time. So
Yeah,
how have things got to this stage then?
yeah. So as you said, yeah, the crunch time still. It's pretty much the other boys on the list don't really know what's going on, and list sizes and total player payments aren't settled yet. So those dates that I said to you were exactly right. And probably 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was set in stone on staying and pushing from a spot and waiting for this crunch time because, as I said, it was 50-50. But then I probably the last week or so, especially I was thinking more about home and the opportunities at home. And I brought that up with Clarko, the coach, and the general manager as well. And we just had an honest, like pretty much open and honest conversation and threw everyone on the table and just had discussions for what's best for me going forward. And it's kind of a mutual decision for the bank. The best decision for me was to go home, especially with all the opportunities I have at home and the unknowns of the AFL industry. Yeah, but I guess probably the last week leading into that decision was a lot of sleepless nights and the unknowns of the future, really.
And was going to another AFL club ever an option for you, Conor, or was it pretty much Hawthorn or home?
No, so that was actually an option. That was left up to the last minute, really, too. Um, me and my manager were obviously discussing what's best for me, and we're pursuing different clubs. But again, it came down to my decision at the end of the day, and like I don't know if I would have got a contract. That's still unknowns, and that was the risk I was willing to take. Again, as I said, it was a mutual decision for me to pursue this pathway for me going home and studying university and hopefully getting back into Gaelic football.
And it's probably a difficult one too, in the fact that you've invested time to come down there, and I suppose all the mental energy it would have taken out to travel. I remember you at the time saying when you were leaving that you're sort of coming and you were the big fish in the small pond, and then you're going over to Australia and you're basically another elite athlete trying to battle for a spot. So you've invested a lot. So you just, I suppose, don't just decide to to move without the sleepless nights.
Yeah, obviously I did invest a lot, and I flew out here pretty much first time when I was 15 or 16. So that seems like a lifetime ago, and especially moving out here after school. It was a massive decision to make, and look, I probably wanted my AFL journey to go a lot better than it has, but everyone's journey is a bit different, and I've came to realise that, and look, I enjoyed my years that I did here. I've had the life experiences not many people have at 23. So you've got to look at the positives and not really focus too much on the negatives, because I've been able to accomplish something special, and not many people get to play at AFL level, never mind coming from a different sport and doing so. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the next journey and the next stage of my life.
I remember you saying at the time it was just like it was the desire to be a professional athlete, and I remember Chrissy McCaig saying the same thing. It's the chance to be playing professionally. Was it more difficult than you felt, or was it much what you expected in terms of trying to break into the side and trying to challenge yourself against other professionals?
Yeah, you probably don't think about those things when you're first coming into it. You're just trying to learn the sport. But then once you become, I guess, you've played the AFL level and you've played to that standard, and you're in and out of the team, that's when it gets a bit harder. I guess the ups are really good when you're performing really well. Like you feel like you're on top of the moon and how good is this? But then if you're not playing so well and you're dropping in and out of the team, it can get very difficult, and both physically and mentally as well, with all the media scrutiny, expectations, letting your friends and family down. So there's a lot comes into it that you didn't really think of when you're first coming into the system.
And you're talking there about pressure. I suppose people don't realise that the person in that jersey is a human being, and you've got pressures and expectations, and maybe professionally fans just sort of think that they can be on your back or putting pressure on you.
I guess that's a part of the job, and everyone has that, but yeah, it's just that it's probably the expectation thing I've struggled with mostly. I've come to realise I don't really read the social media and whatnot, because there'll be a lot of keyboard warriors on there saying a lot of shit, and I guess it's easy for them to do so. They're not really out there performing. So yeah, it's just so distancing your way away from like those sort of circumstances.
And if you were Conor Glass at 16 or 17 again, or somebody rang you and asked you, look, I've got the chance to go to play Australian rules.
Yeah.
What would you say to that person now? Or is it just very much up to people's personal thoughts, circumstances? Think along the lines where maybe the squads are smaller and tighter, and maybe the Irish guys are getting it a bit tighter to have contracts. Like, is there something there that the Irish people are finding it tougher to get contracts, or not at all? Does that not come into it?
I don't think that comes into play in terms of getting contracts. Like if you're good enough, you'll play and you'll be extended. But if there was someone coming out at 16, as I did, I would say 110% go for it. And there's no doubt about it. Like, you're going out here to be a professional footballer, and that's every sports person's dream, is to play a professional. Not only for your professional and aesthetic life, but like financially, they're pretty set up. And look, the past 5 years, I've wanted to achieve more than I've wanted to. So I didn't achieve more. I haven't achieved. Am I putting that right?
Yeah, you haven't.
I haven't achieved as much as I wanted to. But financially, I'm set up, and I'm very comfortable in that regard. That I can, like, I left going out at 18, and I'll go back and study as well. So financially, I'm stable, and I'm happy with my decision.
Glen's season ended a few weeks ago. You're obviously going to be going into play for them when you come back. Derry season still in limbo. Have you been in contact with Rory Gallagher? Is 2020 an option for you?
I've actually, I've spoke to him for the last week or so, ever since I've made the decision. And just I expressed my interest in playing, and the want to play. So I write back next week, and think I have to do 2 weeks quarantine. So that leaves me a week to train before the Armagh game. So, like, it's totally his decision on if he wants to play me or not. But I'll be putting my hand up, and that was my childhood dream, was to play for Derry growing up. So if I get the chance to do that in the next couple of weeks, I'll be a very happy boy.
And then if not, it's just a case of into next season again and take it from there.
That's it. Just come to terms with being back home and living with the parents. So I'll see how I go with that.
You're back on the 8th, Conor, and then I think the National League starts on the 17th. Is that the time frame? You're home on the 8th?
No, so I'll fly the 9th, and I think I'll arrive back on the Saturday morning, which is the 10th. So
yeah.
I'm not too sure if the 2 weeks quarantine is compulsory, but I think it's I think you're meant to do it, but I don't think it's compulsory.
And then I suppose the obvious thing, Conor, is it's a different game, it's a different shape of a ball. It's not just a case of rocking up and playing. There's probably going to be a chance of, time of getting embedded back in the game.
Yeah, I feel like I've chatted to a few boys that have made the transition back, like Ray Canal and Kieran Byrne, and most recent Conor McKenna. And they said, just take your time. Like, you won't be coming home and being a saviour in that regard. Like, I've been 5 years out of the game, and it's going to take time to get back to the level where I left. But I'll do my best to help the team. But you've probably got to give me some time, and if I'm not performing, you know why.
You left obviously after captaining Derry to win the Ulster Minors, and you had a successful career with Glen, successful career with Mahara. I think that's where the scouts sort of spotted you in a Hogan Cup game, was it, or McCrory? So
the first McCrory Hogan.
Yeah, so I suppose from a Derry point of view, people listening in, it's about getting Derry back to the top table again, and you'll be back playing along with a lot of the players that you played with.
Yeah. I feel like the players we have in Glen and for Derry, if we all believe and fully commit to the team and trying to win silverware, there's no reason why we can't do it. That's what all of us play, is to try to win, and there's no reason why we can't do it, especially with the team we have. So I'm fully confident in the team and the management group that we have at the minute on both teams. We can pursue it.
And like you'd said, I know the time we were talking, it was the euphoria of pre-county final, but you've said it to a few different journalists when you're talking to them, that the lure of winning the John McLaughlin Cup has always been massive for you.
It definitely has. Especially, I've only noticed it ever since I've been away. What it actually means to the town of Mahara. last year being around the town during the time of the final was something special, and the buzz we had around the town. So we obviously haven't won it, so being a part of the first time to win it would be massive and definitely a special occasion.
You know, because at the end of the day, that is your cohort of friends. That's the lads you've won on the 14s minors with, and you know, it'd be to be part of that. I suppose was that one of the main lures to come home. You know, whenever you were balancing it up, you know, when you had your options on the table.
Yeah, that was definitely brought up in the meetings we had with the manager and the general manager and player welfare. They had the general feeling that I wanted to go home and I wanted to pursue my love of Gaelic football. I only came to realise probably during the last week I was in the hub, and that's probably what pushed me over the edge, was coming home and having some success with Glen and for Derry. Because over here they don't really know that wherever you grow up, that's the team you play for, and the community feel around that. So as you said, it was definitely one of the things that pushed me over the edge.
The only problem is that when Glen plays Slaughtneil in the championship next year, we won't be allowed to play Conor Glass watch again.
Oh, it might be an overseas trip. You never know. I might plan something.
PNN meets his security cameras and Justy McGrath's gossip about is he home, is he not? It was a bit of crack.
I think I'll be definitely home at that stage. You don't have to worry about
that. And then I suppose last couple of points, Conor, just on Derry itself. A very young squad, and from chatting to Rory a few times about like who he was going to call up from the club championship, one of the things he sort of was stressing that is continuity is the big thing, and keeping a squad of players together. Because I suppose if you look at Monaghan's team the past wee while, it rarely changes and there's a core. It hasn't been like that with Derry. So looking at it from a player point of view, do you see that as a very important factor?
It definitely is, and it's probably building that culture within the county of that everyone wants to play for the county, and that's the main thing you want to strive towards. As you said, building the core obviously helps that. You want to have players that are willing to believe and fully commit to the cause of winning Ulster championships and also Sam Maguire. So you have to have that end goal, and probably building the culture is the main thing for me.
Have you watched much GAA on the TV over there? You know, do you feel the style has changed much since you played last?
Well, I feel like there's a few rule changes that have to be caught up on, so I actually don't know the full rules, so I'll have to figure that out before I get back playing. But to be honest, I haven't noticed too much. I feel like there's more open play now, and it's not that defensive. Well, some teams aren't that defensive, which is good. And it's a bit more appealing to watch, because I feel like watching Marfelt or Donegal a couple of years ago was pretty draining. With all the defensive systems.
Do you feel that? Do you feel the attacking mark has got something to offer? Is Rory or Glenn going to play at full forward now when you come back?
I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. Less run for me. Like I'm open to wherever to play. I'm actually just looking forward to be back playing. That's probably one thing over the last week or two has just got me up in the mornings, like just the buzz of being back home and ready to play Gaelic.
And then uni, Conor, you have studied. Was it a business course you were doing over in Australia? Or?
Yeah, the Bachelor of Commerce, so Bachelor of Business and Finance, Economics.
And then are you going to Jordanstown when you come back? Is that the general plans?
Yeah, so I'm enrolled now, so it's actually been quite hard the past couple of weeks with the different time zones. I haven't been attending too many seminars or lectures on time, so I've been trying to keep up and catch up really. but yeah, Jordanstown, that's where my dad went to, and he won 2 Seagulls there as well. So that's one thing he's definitely let me know about, is that he has 2 Sigurdssons over me. So I think that's about it. So I might have to catch up and take that off him.
I think there was a big Glen contingent in that team. Barry Young was on it, and Enda Gormley was on it, and obviously your dad. I think Barry was player of the tournament, maybe in one of them as well. So,
was he really?
You've got yourself a target.
I have, yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to it, and yeah, Dad's obviously told me a lot about it. So yeah, really looking forward to getting back studying.
And I suppose just to sum up generally, Conor, you're happy. You said earlier you're happy with your decision to go to Australia, and you've obviously done a lot of thinking about your decision to come home. Glass half full from the point of view of what you've got out of it.
Yeah.
Or totally full of what you got out of it.
No, it's probably half full. Like, to be honest, if I had stayed out there longer, and a lot of the boys said that to me when I told them that I'm going back home, they felt like I could have made it, and I feel like I'm good enough to be playing at that level and playing it consistently. But look, the opportunities haven't arose for me, whether it be selection wise or performance. But I've put 100% effort into it, and it hasn't worked out for me in the way I wanted to. But I'm happy with the decision I've made to come home. And as I said before, it's a different journey, a different pathway for me. So I'll attack it with 100% effort, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it.
Conor, thanks very much for your time and the opportunity to chat. And as I say, I remember you playing for the Miners that time and had great success. And hopefully those days aren't too far away, and Derry can start knocking around Clonus in July time if COVID allows us.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, let's hope so. Hope we get some silverware.
And the people from Slanhill will just be looking forward to a different opponent in the Waddies jersey in the next few years.
That's it. You have to set out a plan.
Thanks very much, Conor.